Hi guys, today we're going to be investigating angles. Your learning intention for this lesson is that you can name the types of angles and estimate angles in degrees. The success criteria is that you can name the types of angles and you can estimate them in degrees. Today we're going to be using a protractor, but there's also a separate video about how to use a protractor. So if you're not 100% sure on how to use a protractor, go and have a look at that one as well, and that'll help you out. Let's get started. So we're going to start today with the angle types. Now, as we all know, angles are measured in degrees. Degrees are shown by the little circle next to the number. So, looking at the pictures on the left, there are different types of angles in the descriptions that we've got shown here. So firstly, we have an acute angle. Now, an acute angle, as shown up in the top left here, just here, is an angle that is less than 90. And the way I like to remember it is that it's little and cute, so it's less than 90 degrees. Our next angle is our right angle. Now, a right angle is equal to 90 degrees, and that's really important because 90 degrees is a quarter of 360, which is a quarter of a circle. And a right angle is always shown here, but it's also always shown with these little square lines here. It's not shown with our other angles with the circle, it's actually shown with the square lines. So even if you have an angle that you don't have the degrees shown on, if it's shown with the square, like we have here, we know that that's a right angle. Next up, we have an obtuse angle, and an obtuse angle is between 90 and 180 degrees. So having a look at our obtuse here, I like to remember him as obtuse as big and fat. So our obtuse angle is bigger than our acute angle, and it's bigger than our 90 degree angle because it's between 90 and 180. Next up, we have our straight angle. Our straight angle is 180 degrees. It's a straight line. Straight line is measured as 180 degrees. And finally, we have a reflex angle. Now, a reflex angle is between 180 degrees and 360 degrees. Now, what's important is that it's greater than a straight line. And you can tell that it's greater than a straight line because our angle marker is shown all the way around. I like to think about this as like a reflex on your knee. So when the doctor hits your knee, when it's like this, dunk, comes up, that's your reflex or your reflex angle. All right, let's have a look at categorizing angles and estimating their degrees. So let's have a look at the next part. So we're going to measure today with a protractor. And as I mentioned before, there is a separate video for using the protractor. Have a quick look at it, although I'm going to run through bits and pieces of it here today. So remember, with our protractor, along the bottom of our protractor, we have our zero lines, where we line up the bottom of our angle. And we also have our 90 line. Now where those intersect, right here, that's where we line up the corner of our angle. It will make sense as we go through, so let's have a look at it now. Alright, so these are our first group of angles. So if we were going to measure these with our protractor, firstly, we want to check, let's have a look. I know that an acute angle is less than 90. So this angle here is greater than 90. It doesn't have our square on it, so it can't be a right angle. It's not straight across, so it's not a straight. And it doesn't go all the way around like our foot, so it's a big angle. So that must make it an obtuse angle. So that means that it's between 90 and 180. So let's measure it with our protractor, just to have a quick look. So we bring our protractor up and we put him on our angle, making sure that we line up our 90 and our 180 so that they're together. And now we're going to count around. Now, we don't count from the zero on this side of our protractor. We always count from the zero on the side that's closest to our alignment. So we start with the zero on this side because we've aligned him on the bottom. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So he's more than 90 degrees. 100, 110, 120, 130, 40, 50, 150, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 154 degrees is about what I measure there. Now let's have a look and see. 154, that's between 90 and 180, so that would make it an obtuse angle. And that's what we've got there. Now, let's have a look at our angle below. Now, we can sort of see that it's almost the same as the other one. So we know that it's not an acute angle because looking at the base, we know that the part that we're measuring here isn't little and acute like that. It's big and wide. It's definitely not 90 because it doesn't have our square. So we would think that it's an obtuse angle. Let's have a look though. Let's use our protractor. So let's grab our protractor down. Now, this time we're lining up our protractor, our 0 along the bottom, along to our 90. We're lining up our 90 at the end of our line. Now this time, because we're lining up our 0 to this side of the protractor, we start with 0 here. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. There's our 90 degrees. We're greater than 90. 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, and 155, 156. So this angle is 156 degrees, which means that it's not little and cute, it's not less than 90, it's not over 180, it's not exactly 180, and it's not 90 degrees. So that would make it an obtuse angle. Let's have a look at our next angles. All right, I think you can probably guess just by looking at these whether they're acute or obtuse angles. Let's have a quick look. All right, this one, not a straight, not a right angle. We can rule those out straight away. Looking here, they're not as wide as their obtuse ones, and we know our 90 would come up through here. So it's less than 90, but not 90. That means it must be acute. Let's check it out. Let's see if it's an acute angle. Yes, it is. And the bottom one, same thing. Can we see that it's less than 90? Yes, we can. Now, if we've got a protractor on hand, we can check it. Let's have a double check. We've estimated. Let's line up our protractor on our bottom line. Our 90 lines up here. And as we can see, 10, 20, 30, 35 degrees is the angle. It's less than 90, so that makes it an acute angle. Let's check our next one down the bottom. Again, lining up our protractor along the bottom line with our 90. Checking. Remember this time though, girls and boys, we're starting from 0 on this side because we've lined up along that side of our protractor. 0, 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 32 degrees, which is less than 90, not 180, not 90 degrees, not between 90 and 180, which makes it obtuse, so that makes it an acute angle. All right, let's have a look at this one, girls and boys. Again, if you can remember my rule, remember our little that does that at the doctor's surgery. That's right, we might think that this is a reflex angle, so let's have a look. It is a reflex angle. Let's have a look at the one at the bottom. Is it a reflex? It is a reflex angle. Now, if we're measuring a reflex angle, that might be a little bit tricky. So, if you get stuck on measuring reflex angles, make sure you look at the video called Using a Protractor, and I'll show you how to do that over there. Let's move on to our next set. Here we have some different angles. Let's have a look. Now, let's start with this one at the bottom here. Let's start with this one here. And let's think about what we said. Now, we said a right angle looks different. Now, why does this angle look different to this angle, do you think? What looks different? That's right. The way we show the angle is different. Look, we show the angle here as a little box rather than here as a circle. That means that this must be a right angle. So, if that's a right angle, let's have a look. Let's see what the answer says. Is it a right angle? It is a right angle. Now, if we look at the top, we can look straight through there and we think, that's looking pretty straight. So, that must be a straight angle. As always, we've estimated, so we want to have a quick check and looking there, starting with our protractors from 0 all the way across to 0, that's a straight angle. Again, with our protractor here, looking at our protractor, that angle exactly 90 degrees. Girls and boys, I want you to jump onto Seesaw and I want you to take some photos of some angles around your house. I want you to then label them. You can label them with the draw tool, label them as acute, obtuse, reflex, right angle, or straight angle. I want you to upload those for your teachers to see. Once you've done those, your teachers will get back to you and let you know how you've gone. Today's learning intention, guys, was that you can name the types of angles and estimate their angles in degrees. I think that if you can do that on Seesaw, then you've reached your success criteria and you can name the angles and you can estimate their degrees. Have a great day, have a good try, and see how you go. Bye for now.